No
And we're
permission.
live. Oh,
No, no, I give you no permission to record.
that's on you, boss. Alrighty. Well, welcome, Dominic. It's actually it's probably been a month.
A little
Uh,
bit more. The last time we did one, you were in Ohio.
yes. Yeah.
So whatever that timeline is.
Whatever that story arc is.
Oh, you know what? I had just done my audition.
Audition for what? I don't think you. Wait, no, I think you did say it. So now
Yeah,
you.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Here we
My
go.
audition for Into the Woods and Out of the Woods. So updates on that. So I got the understudy for the baker, which was the role I was going for. And I do get two performances I get to perform. There's like an invited dress rehearsal, which is like a little bit more stripped down, and then full performance, which you will be in attendance for. We'll get on that later. But yeah, so basically the past month I've been rehearsing for a show for the first time in a long time. And it has been a gift. It's taken up so much of my time after work. Basically, I go to work and then I go to rehearsal and I'm out for most of the day. Yet I still have found myself, as we'll see, having time to do a lot of other things, but also being in lockstep with this. And actually, yesterday was like the best rehearsal because I got to do a dance review, and dancing is not my of the so it's like the triple threat. There's singing, acting, and dancing, and like my singing and acting, I don't know where it is on the scale, but they're close, and the dance is like off camera, like below. But I did this music review yesterday, and like I feel really good about this dancing, and I think that a threshold that I've moved past as I've gotten older is if I didn't know the dance, I would probably look very nervous, like deer in headlights. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not hitting the step, whatever. But the main important thing to me is acting through the dance. And so I've been told now, like, you're the most fun to watch when you're dancing because I'm hitting the moves, maybe not as technically perfect as others, but I look like I'm into it or I'm in character and it's believable. And so that's where you can use other skills to pad the ones you don't have.
That's awesome. Is acting well? All right. I have two questions. The first is, I feel like in college that it was a similar timeline of you'd have class and potentially homework, and then you'd go to rehearsal and then do it every day. So what's the difference between like doing it in school and then also doing it out of school? And then secondly, isn't dancing just acting but a little bit more exercise?
Yeah, and you can close your ring sometimes. Actually, like I like
I saw.
cast my ring yesterday because I was dancing for like 3 hours. But yeah, I think the difference is that yeah, sometimes like not during my work hours, like I'll have some work I have to do if I have like a shoot in another country or somewhere else or like in a different time zone that I have to take care of. But overall, it's like there's none of that pressure of school. Like when I was doing theater in school, even if I didn't care, you still have the other stuff hanging over you. This is just like a fun time. Like I just go in and it's like 3 hours that I don't think about anything else. And I know that when I leave, I'm not going to be like, oh, shoot, like I got to do all this other stuff. Like it's the end of the day. I work on other stuff if I want to, but I'm not like, I'm
Yeah.
not stressed about what it's taking away from or what it's sidelining. Um, yeah. So that's probably the difference is that it really does feel like it's an after work activity and I don't have to have the pressures of work or other stuff like looming over, which is good.
I was gonna say that must feel awesome, and I'm glad because as we'll see in a bit, like you have a lot of other stuff that you're cooking up. I think I have a tendency in my own brain to put pressure on myself for all of it, you know, so it's just, it's healthy. But I know you do as well in a different
No,
way.
totally. Like, I mean, after I get out of the rehearsal, I loop the whole soundtrack on the train ride home. You know, it's like, you know, I think about the show a lot. Like during lunch today, I do an exercise sometimes where if I'm sitting at the computer, I'll just type out all of my lines in chronological order.
Really?
Yeah, just
How
like
long does
from
that
memory.
take?
I mean, I have it down to probably about like a half hour.
And you do all of them?
Yeah,
Wow.
there were a few today that I didn't, and so that's where I know that I need to like go back and look. Like I'll be like, oh shoot, like I know the wording might not be right, or I forgot this little thing. But that's like the main thing. But then even if you know all that, the next step is, where does my line come in the context of the other people speaking around me? And that's really hard to do when you don't get to run it. See, a thing about being an understudy for the most part is I sit and watch. And so hypothetically, I know how everything works and where I need to be. But like for the dance rehearsal the other day, I had to fill in for the baker. And so I actually got to do it. And now I feel a million times better because I know that I can do all the dances in the correct spot, know where I fit within everybody else moving around. Cause it's like you can watch it and track it, but like how awkward I would feel if like the first time I'm doing it is that first dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is my first time being an understudy, and so it's actually been a great learning experience of, and this was a great show to do it because I'm familiar enough with it that
Perfect role.
you know,
Perfect.
it doesn't take uh extra time that maybe a brand new show being an understudy and like learning the role for the first time would have been. But now I know what the experience is like, which is great. So very happy about that.
Dang. Well, heck yeah, dude. That is awesome. I look forward to more updates off and on the call as
Yeah, I assume our next
in person again.
our next one will probably be in person at a certain place. I'm thinking if we have a little bit time left at one of the locations, we will be that we recorded there. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my main update of a thread from the last call. Do you have any updates on what you've been up to?
Do you remember my threads from the last call, Dominic?
There were a few. It was the thread of documentary stuff. That was when we'd kind of just started on kind of a plan for that, which that plan's changed, but in a better way. And I don't want to mention anything that I think we talked about just you figuring out some stuff, not just in the creative realm, but also
Yeah.
in your life. So
Yeah. All right. So this will be good. This is my my coming out moment, but in the career creative space. So yeah, I guess we'll start from the update kind of from the top through line from last episode. And that is the doc. So we made a couple changes. First, I think after that call, Dominic and I set up a schedule. He's been my accountability partner this whole time, but I broke it down in a Dominic way through an Excel sheet. He broke it down for me, actually. And I followed it for the first 2 weeks. And then some stuff happened in my life, and I've taken a pause, but I'm just at a point where things are evening out for a bit, and I'm excited to treat the doc sort of in I get to do it instead of I have to do it. Long story short, deadlines got pushed. I think I can mention it, but
yeah,
we're recording music all together, all remotely. That's been going pretty well. It's interesting. Dominic can fill in more of the blanks on wrangling people and getting things done. I did scratch vocals and some rough rhythm guitar recently, and we just sent it over to Cooper. Dominic did backing tracks with some vocals and some piano, and then Jake did, I guess, MIDI drums, right?
Yeah.
For all of them. So Jake and Dom did that, sent it to me. I dropped some vocals and guitar, sent it to Cooper, and Cooper is going to record Connor and him. I guess not together now. I don't know how that's going to work, but Cooper's going to add lead guitar and do some mixing. And the goal of that is to have it done by October 22nd. I know that's the show date, but like that around that.
Yeah, like that weekend. Yeah.
That weekend, so that when I am in New York for Dominic's show, the couple days after, we will be doing actual vocal recordings. I don't know if we're gonna mic up a piano also. We have a recording studio booked, so I assume we are, and we'll have a drum kit for Jake. Actually, that's already happening, or
we're hoping to do that beforehand. It might end up being an after, but it's like the plan is like it's like we're making the demo and the final track at the same time. So it's like the demo parts will get swapped out. And because we all need something to record to. And like the way that our processes ended up over the years is really, I make a super quantized basic piano track so that there's something that Jake can record the drums to that we can then build everything on. Because really like the drum has to be the kind of like moving force underneath, because it's the rhythmic, portion and the base of it all. And so it's been fun figuring out how to do this remote, because it's kind of like, okay, what are the pieces that we can't do until this one's done? And once we have a rough one of all of them, then we can do the vocals because everything's at least locked in place. And some of them will be final, like Cooper's will be final. Like his rough will be, he won't even have had a rough.
it'll just be there.
So, yeah, but it's really exciting. And it's great timing because I'll end my show. Anthony will be there. And then we'll have time to practice and like really tighten up the harmonies and the lead vocals together, and then have a game plan to go in and record. I think it's the Tuesday night, but it'll be great. We have it for 5 hours. We'll have an audio engineer there. The vocals are just so important, and it'll just take it to the next level. And also it'll allow me to kind of use someone else's process to know what we could be doing better for our DIY, for the future. Because I did take like audio recording classes and stuff, but good to see it in practice. And some of these songs are really good, and I want that, like they deserve the next, like this needs to be better than Running Late, like sound wise. Like we can't regress, because if you listen to all of our songs, the mixes get better. And so that's the goal, is we don't want to take a step back.
Yeah. I think that's been the really cool thing about our music, and also kind of the goal to, I don't know, I think whoever listens to this, Dominic and I have the future. We were texting last week or a couple of weeks ago, and we were just like, the band is so weird, but it's so amazing, because right now it's almost like an excuse to keep improving our craft, soloing, like, doing solo artist stuff by ourselves, but also with the band, improve sonically with our instruments, recording, production, mixing.
Give us an excuse to buy new instruments.
Yes. Oh, wait. So yeah, Dominic is very good at helping people buy things. I'm. Yeah, you can talk about that. I'm also looking for new instruments.
Yeah. No, but it's that thing
awesome.
of like, the band is the excuse to be better.
Yeah.
And so it's great. It's great to have the outlet or something to work towards. Like as I enter phase 2 of my videos, one of the things that I'm actually starting the first one tomorrow in terms of filming is my first free write. So I'm going to lock myself in a practice room for 30 minutes with a camera on and see what I can come up with. Maybe it'll be Did I Hear Dare song. Maybe it won't. But it's the, why do you want to get better? And sometimes you have to give yourself a reason. Like it'd be awesome to say, yeah, I'm just someone who improves all the time with no reason. I just am. But like, if you give yourself goals, deadlines,
That's why we're
missions
doing
to
this.
accomplish. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's just accountability gets you a little more of the way than you would otherwise.
Yeah.
So your first update was about the doc.
Yes. And then, so the second update and why I've kind of had to hit pause on creative stuff, unfortunately, for this month, but excitingly, because I think I'm going to get back into it and have a better rhythm, which has already kind of started the past couple of weeks. So for the past few months, I was kind of working 2 jobs for a while, and it was pretty stressful. It was good. I liked both of them. But I was burning the candle at both ends, and I was losing sight of creative stuff, some of my like relationships I cared about. Like I just wasn't putting time in places that I think I really wanted to, and I didn't realize that. I thought I could do it all, and again, unfortunately, the reality kind of kicked me in the butt and was like, no, man, you got to choose. You can't do it all, which is tough, but also freeing in the sense of like, all right, like I can't do it all, so might as well choose and make the most of it, right? So in terms of work, I'm now working 1 job, and I'm working at a climate tech firm called Funga, serving as the chief of staff, which has been amazing. And yeah, that I don't know, really like the people there, really like the work. I have my hand in everything, and it feels really good. So yeah, I don't know. I wake up and work has been good, which I like. And then that like work being good and not exhausting leaves me still like having energy in the evenings or in the mornings too. Like early in the mornings, I've been trying to get up and do writing sessions, at least like 2 hours a week, or an hour a week. Sometimes it only can be 30 minutes of writing, but like just writing scripts, blog posts, newsletter stuff. I'm just trying to churn ideas and get in the habit of doing that. Saturdays, I've also been doing a lot of reading and writing, just at a coffee shop for like 3 or 4 hours, which has been good. And again, that's all for, I think that, yeah, as a creative thing, I've been doing a newsletter once a month, and that's been really enjoyable. It's very good to like get all of these ideas that are in Anthony's head and then figure out how to consolidate them, write something cohesive, and then send it to an audience, and just clarifies my ideas and thoughts. And yeah, it's been really good. So writing, I've been getting into, and yeah, I guess the major update is a new job that I really like. And now I feel like in my, did I show the board that I made before?
I think you mentioned it, but you might not have shown it. If you want to,
I'll show it. This is how weird I am. So I've separated my life, and then you'll see this on the next couple newsletters. I'm not into the super woo-woo stuff, but I was like, it seems to work for some people. We'll give it a shot. I'm down to experiment. I've separated my life into 4 quadrants. Top left, life, relationships, and learning, which is kind of like the primary quadrant. I really care about my relationships and also learning and the people around me. Like that's number 1. Surround myself with good people. That's always been good. Second is health. And these are not in order. This is just like a quadrant thing. Second is health. And it's like, as long as I do some sort of exercise or walk or climb or play soccer or do whatever every day or every other day, like that just keeps me regulated and I can sleep better because of it. And yeah, just, eat better, feel better, etc. That helps fuel everything else. It's kind of like the base of the pyramid. Career is black and white because it can be boring at some times. I don't know. Fortunately or unfortunately, I feel like career has, or like some sort of job stuff has meant something to me in my life. Like it is important. And for the first time the first time since graduating, honestly, like I feel content, maybe is the word, or like secure in like I could stay in this current role and like work on a really big like trying to solve climate change and redo the forestry industry with fungus. Like I don't know, it's really cool stuff. So I feel very secure here, which again like just frees up mental space for other things, which gets me to the last one, which is creative, which is a huge part of my life. ever since college, ever since the band here, and here a few other of my favorite bands and artists. But yeah, creative people, writers, etc. I'm really excited because now I feel like I finally like unlocked the space in a way. So
It's true. If you're not giving to those other parts, that the creative's the hardest one to give attention to, like, because it's the thing that seems like it should be the least important when you're trying to fix the other ones. Because like health, you need to live and live healthily and sleep well and do it, and relationships are like being human, and then a job you need for money. So that creative quadrant can always kind of seem like it doesn't fit when the other things are crumbling. And so I'm glad you've like had this unlocked moment now, because you kind of exist in both, of like being a more logical person, but also being a more creative person. So I'm glad that both cylinders can fire.
that's literally the epitome of that board, Dominic. It's a scrap collage board, but there's quadrants. Like what the heck? Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, those are my updates, man. Very excited, and I think like I'm gonna give it this weekend. I'm kind of gonna do some more planning, but I'm gonna attack the doc in a different way. And I will talk to you about it actually this weekend. Actually, on the call. This is for accountability. So then this will be the through line. I again, I think maybe I said last time, but I hope I'll be in New York, so I'll have to have something to show for myself. But now with this time, it's kind of like after 5 or 6 o'clock, whenever I'm done, like I'm just gonna sit down for half an hour. I'll start with half an hour and then or an hour and just like sit in Final Cut Pro and not do anything else. Like I literally will not. I make myself. I can't do anything fun. I'll lock myself in my room. And that sucks, but I think I have to do it for consistency. And again, accountability. And again, like
the thing is,
it's I'm doing it for fun, but I know myself, like the pressure and the timeline of it, like is not the deadline's not there anymore. It's like for myself.
But like there is, but there isn't.
Like there is, but it's all made up. Like we all.
I think it's that thing of, even if you sit down for 30 minutes of Final Cut, even if you only get 2 minutes of work done, that's 2 more than you would have. So it's like you got to take the little victories, and I feel like sometimes it's hard to do that when you want to tackle the whole thing or you want to do it, but it's like you can't.
Why is it so hard? And maybe this is actually a good example. This is for both of us, Anthony in the future, Dominic in the future. I feel like working out or like climbing, right? Like I know I can't just be a really good climber, but if I show up every day and like, I'll hurt myself occasionally and like I'll fall out of it for a week or whatever. But as long as I keep consistent, like then I'll be good. Like going to the gym, as long as you just show up to the gym and you do like 2 lifts or something, like if you keep doing that, that's you'll eventually snowball and do well. I just need, I understand that in my logical brain. It's hard for me to do it.
Because I'm like, I need to put in 24 hours every day to be good at it, or else. I think it's because you look at all these people who are really good at that thing and you go, I could never be that unless I give everything to it. But then if you step back and look at how many things we're pretty good at, sometimes you need to take that perspective, because it is that thing of like, would you rather be the master of one or a jack of all trades? Or like, even though I know it's actually master of none is what people say, but it's like,
but better than a master of one is the rest of the phrase.
Correct. Yes. And so it's the thing of like, how many skills I've accidentally picked up because I was trying to really hard to do something, and then like maybe that didn't work out, but now I know how to video edit. It's like it's things like that. It's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
And it may not. It's I just want to add, like, it may not be the best thing, which is hard, especially like I think both of us have a little bit of perfectionist tendencies. But at least they'll get done. And I think that it's weird as it sounds, like at least if done is better than perfect.
The
It's
thing
hard.
is like, if you look at it, a Jake episode of the documentary is the best, technically, because he's really good at editing. He's better than either of us will ever be. But then it's the thing of, we are going to make the best version of our episode of the documentary. And it's like, you have to think of it that way of like, we're going to give our all and the top of our ability to do this thing. And so, and it has our voice and it has our thing, but it's like, I can't aim to be as technically good as X. I just have to be the best version of my abilities to do it. So speaking of,
yeah, I was gonna say that's a perfect transition. Let's hear your lane in the next phase.
All right. So here we go. So I guess every time I come in here, I never
Wait, I think you're in your monitor, bro.
What do you see right now?
Your background.
I hate when it does that. All right, here we go again.
Big reveal. There we go.
So the thing is that even after all this time, I've still never linked. I like started linking every video and I did it and I just gave up, but that's fine. But here we are on phase 2. I think I need to update a couple things here, but basically,
wow,
it's a shorter one as we talked about, but actually I did do these ones. I'll be changing some order a bit, but my goal here is out with the old and with the new, as I've kind of talked about. And so this is going to be me focusing on a bit of piano too, which I'll show you in a second. But kind of getting out all of these theater experiences I've had before and hoping to pave the way for the new, that like the next phase I do next fall is going to be our new, or like in the winter is going to be our Did I Hear Dare music, maybe a new theater production I'm in, maybe, you know, the scripts that I start doing the podcast with, which I've been working hard on behind the scenes, you know. And so this is kind of hoping that I can get these things out and, you know, hoping to get to this next. So this is kind of the connective tissue. It's a smaller phase. It's also because I've been in a show and I've prioritized that, which is important because I think last phase during Workshop Wednesday, I talked about like part of the reason I wanted to move here was to get involved in the theater scene. Yeah. This is a very small step into that, but I don't take those steps lightly. And so, you know, I have this phase in front of me and I'm going to do it, but also behind the scenes is all this work for Did I Hear Dare season 3 and all of this work to do a show, you know? And so, you know, I kind of had to keep that in mind. Like this was a super ambitious phase that I actually cut off early because I got COVID. Like I had 3 more weeks and then I just called it quits, which you can see back in episode 7 or whatever.
You can see it right here, right, Dominic? Right,
right there. But yeah, and then I won't really show phase 3, but you know, planning out the Did I Hear Dare releases as well, and so that I can benefit, you know, have content for my schedule. So then the other thing I'll show you is, let's see here. So if I do this desktop and I share sound. So, you know, working on some new piano, blue curtain. Here, well, I'll start. I was very sweaty. I've debated redoing these, but you know what? It's how I look. Like, it's that thing of, yeah, it was midnight and I did this. So what, you know?
Dude, that's...
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide.
So, you know, just like working, like I want to hone that.
Dude.
And then, you know, I've updated my film reel for the first time with
new men's
my
magazine,
History Channel
Playboy.
clip.
Is that here?
Yes.
What's the occasion?
Oh, actually, listen to the cut in the music.
New
though.
men's magazine, Playboy.
Is that here? What's the occasion?
And also, both characters are mailmen. Fun fact. It's all about connection. Anyway.
So good. Oh.
But yeah, it's like things are coming together. More ragtag, but I'm doing it. And it's kind of, how do you push beyond while you have limitations? And I think that like, it's, as we talked about, getting rid of a little bit of that perfectionist behavior and being like, you know, am I doing this or am I just not?
Yeah.
And I would have nothing posted if I was too much of a perfectionist. You know, you have to like give yourself a little bit of leeway sometimes, be like, you know what, like, this is what I have and what I need to do. And if I don't do this, then I'm not going to do anything. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Dang, dude. I'm excited for phase 2. How this is the video of the curtain and the piano threw me. How is the piano and the new setup? Oh my gosh.
It's awesome, man. I love this piano. The only thing, it sits a little short, but that's because I bought like the wooden frame for it.
Gotcha.
But I just moved the stool down. But it's just a different adjustment because I always played so high.
Yeah.
But it's good because I think this is actually how you're supposed to play piano.
We're still figuring out. We're still learning. And is it a blue curtain or did you
That's a blue. Yeah, I own a blue curtain, a green curtain, and a red curtain. So I thought I'd bring out the blue for the first time for piano phase 2. So I think I'm saving the green one for the podcast read through of the scripts. Like that'll be what my backdrop will be for those. And so I'll just like rotate the curtains depending on like Music Monday will split blue and red, and then the green will exist for like readings and stuff.
That's awesome. It's all connected, like you said.
A theme.
Oh. Well, good, man.
So
I'm excited.
I guess my main 2 goals, just until the next time, is getting the 3 Did I Hear Dare songs to the point for us to record our vocals and whatever work I need to do in between there, and to make sure that my performance in the show is great. So those are really my 2 focuses. So like, even though I'm going to start this phase 2 or whatever, like it's like not even on the list, but I have almost enough done that I'm hoping it'll be like a mindless chore now that I basically almost have all of it done, that like in between work and rehearsal, I'll just do a free write, you know, and like I'll edit or I'll do it, you know, and then if we do these workshop Wednesdays, I'll, you know, hit the goal. Like we actually pushed off doing this call just because this wasn't a priority. Honestly, the only reason I decided to do it, I was like, A, I just need to start phase 2 and just do it so that I just finish it. But B, I really wanted to do a catch up of like, you know, a lot has happened. And if we waited till too close to when we're together, you know, I feel like this is a good spacing. Like we have another month and then, so.
Good. And I'm proud of us for pivoting too. I think that's maybe, again, if other people watch this, it's like, we're not perfect either. Definitely not me. But procrastinate a lot of things, but like, we're still moving, we're still making progress. And that is the main thing. I feel like,
yeah,
as long as
it's
one
not
thing
always
happens,
this, sometimes it's, but we just don't want to go backwards.
Yep.
I think with everything.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot to go, hey, I don't think I can do this today. Just with anything, you know, like you have to give yourself that.
Yeah. It's very hard.
But good stuff. Your newsletters have been great since last we spoke. I love seeing that every month. Hoping to see more, whether it be new blog posts soon or, you know, but you're a great writer. You have a great voice and really great to read your stuff. So
learning from the best, Dominic. I'm hoping that the writing will bleed into other things as well. But I think for some reason, the newsletters and the blogs have been the best outlet, like just for me to write on paper rather than writing a script.
You're starting from a point where it's you about you.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see you coming through in like a sketch or a scene or a pilot or a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like you have it. Like that's one of the next steps for you, like whether that's soon or way later, that like pushing the boundaries of your writing to see how your voice fits.
Yeah.
Which honestly, the documentary is a great place to start that, because it is you, but there's a hyper fictionalized / group aesthetic / what's the story you want to present. And so I think it'll be really fascinating. But
yeah, it's all building. It's all connected. As for goals to wrap up, I think newsletter just every month is something that like I want to, it's once a month, right? Like, so I can be consistent on it. I am going to be consistent on it. And it's just like, for the most part, it's been fun. But like, I think last month I crunched a little bit and I was like, oh yeah, it's a weird month, or the end of the month isn't like on the weekend. It's in the middle of the week. It's due tomorrow. I just crunched it out. But anyway, so newsletter, main goal. Secondary goal is, did I hear our doc? Again, like taking it lightly, taking it at my own pace, but just consistency with that. I think I get into like, I work on it for 4 hours and then I don't work on it for a long time. And then I just like, the momentum, the progress is not there, and I go backwards. And then lastly, I think I'm now with this freedom, I've been looking into new instruments as well. And I think I'm going to put a few more chips into the music bucket, not only for myself personally, because I enjoy it, but also like, so that when October comes, I can be sharp on my game and ready to record everything as best as I can when I'm in New York. So those are my goals.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I doubt we'll do another call before New York. So see you there.
We'll see you there. All righty. Have a good night, Dom.
Peace.
Peace.